As humanity improves its existing technology, but also discovers new technology, it's difficult not to wonder what we could look forward to in our lifetimes. I mean, we've already come so far. In the 1960s, we put humans on the moon.
Got the fourth rung up. That's all right, I don't mind a bit.
That's pretty impressive. But where are we headed? So the closest cool milestone that we'll be able to see in our lifetimes is most likely going to be research bases on the moon. When the Artemis 3 mission launches in late 2028, it will put 4 astronauts on the actual surface of the moon for the first time since the 1970s, but they'll bring with them the materials to start building the first ever permanent lunar research facility. This base is called the Artemis Base Camp, and it's going to be used for different scientific studies, like studying the effects of humans staying on the moon for an extended period of time, testing grounds for new technology innovations, and eventually the development of the foundations for a future mission to send humanity to Mars. Trust me, I'll get there in a second, but we're not quite there yet. After we get kind of boring, like private space agency bases and stuff out of the way, we can then get to the good stuff that you might be able to go visit. In the late 2030s, after governments and private space agencies like NASA or SpaceX establish their lunar bases for research purposes, private companies like this one called GRU have pledged to build legitimate space hotels on the moon. And you could actually go and stay on the moon or in a hotel in orbit for as little as $1 million. $1 million. All right, so maybe the rich get to go first, but it would still be cool to walk around like an Apollo astronaut for a couple days on the moon. I mean, that's just, it's so awesome that it's difficult to imagine. Now, around the same time that public consumer hotels and attractions are being built around and off the Earth, SpaceX will have already perfected or made significant strides in perfecting the technology of reusable rockets. Already, SpaceX has launched rockets into space for deliveries to the ISS or satellites into orbit, and then successfully landed them back down on Earth, but some of them have exploded. And we don't want people exploding, so, we're gonna perfect that before we let people get on those rockets. This technology is so significant because it absolutely tanks the price of space travel. If you have to build one rocket in order to launch stuff into space, every single time you have to launch things into space, it's gonna be extremely expensive and you're gonna need to make that money back from someone. But if you can have one rocket that you can launch almost an infinite amount of times, just up and down, the tickets to go to one of these space hotels might not be that much. This technology is a perfect transition into the early 2040s. I'm predicting that the 2040s will be the decade of space tourism. Reusable rockets tanking the price of tickets for moon hotels or some of these orbiting attractions that could one day feasibly be built can start the true beginning of semi-affordable tickets to outer space for vacations. Any family could realistically pack up a week's worth of supplies into a suitcase and then fly up to space in a rocket and then live in space for a week. Almost the same way that today families go on cruises. It is beyond exciting to know that the age of space tourism is just at the horizon, but once people get really used to the idea of space, this is where things get really exciting. After everything we've talked about, most likely in the late 2040s to early 2050s, NASA and SpaceX will probably team up and send the bravest humans to ever exist to another planet in our solar system. That planet would obviously be Mars. It is on average 60 to 70 million miles away from Earth. Those humans would have to train for years for this mission. And when they finally get launched into space, they will be on that rocket for months in the abyss of space, headed towards Mars. They have nothing to do but talk to each other. I mean, that sounds terrible, but once they get there, they will be the first ever humans to walk on another planet. SpaceX's CEO Elon Musk has pledged to make humanity a multiplanetary species. He has plans to build a fully self-sustaining city on Mars so that the millions of humans he plans to launch there don't have to worry about supply missions coming from Earth anymore. This could be a genius way of preserving humanity for all time. Because if humans on Earth decide to do something really stupid and nuke the entire planet so everybody dies, the humans on Mars would obviously still be alive, but also be able to learn from the mistakes of their sister society. Speaking of life on other planets, as humans finally achieve multiplanetary status as a species, we could be on the cusp of finding genuine intelligent alien life. This actually might come sooner than I thought, because we've got alien files confirmed to be released by the President of the United States, so So I will keep you updated when those come out. Now, I don't mean like a FaceTime call with aliens or a UFO landing on the White House lawn or anything like that. But in between now and when we go to Mars, we could have launched a telescope into orbit or maybe built one on the moon, sophisticated enough to discover technosignatures of alien civilizations. A technosignature is anything that we can observe about or on a planet that presents evidence of past or present technology on that planet. An example would be if aliens were flying past Earth and then they saw our city lights at night, they might figure out that nothing natural makes those, so they know that intelligent humans capable of making artificial light live on this planet. These technosignatures could range in size from anywhere as small as atmospheric pollution from that civilization to anything as large as a Dyson sphere, which is just basically a gigantic solar panel orbiting a star, which is really cool, but would take up so much energy, time, and resources to build that civilization would be considerably more advanced in their technology compared to humans. Our lifetimes could very well contain the first ever announcement of intelligent alien life. Now, we might not get a full-scale alien invasion or anything, but the discovery and announcement to the public of actual intelligent aliens could possibly change our world forever. After the discovery of aliens, humans, being as curious as they are probably going to want to go visit our newfound neighbors. So obviously the next step would be to make a spaceship that could get us to another star in preferably under 1,000 years. So in the 1950s, there was a project proposed and genuinely developed and worked on called Project Orion. This was a proposed theoretical spaceship that would allow nuclear bombs to fuel a spacecraft. So the spaceship would launch a nuke out the back of the ship and then have that nuclear bomb explode behind the spaceship and then have a massive shock absorber at the end of the ship absorb most of that energy and then fling the ship in your desired direction. This could realistically get us to like high fractions of the speed of light. So when we're old and gray and rotting in a retirement home somewhere, we might be able to turn on the TV and watch the launch of the first ever manned or unmanned mission to make contact with another species in our universe. That is crazy and genuinely awesome. Anyways, I'm excited for all of these to happen in my lifetime. Let me know which ones you guys are most excited for down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.